This is a Nikon D3400, my very first professional camera. And in today's video, I'm going to give you practical tips that are going to help you master this and in the process master any other camera that you lay your hands on and get amazing pictures out of this camera. Subscribe, let's jump straight into the video. It was around 4 years ago I laid my hands on this camera, and ever since then I've been shooting many pictures. Covered events, tried wedding. I've done a lot with this camera, and it's a very good first camera because if you're a beginner and you land your hand on fancy cameras, the cameras might do a lot of the thinking for you, so you might not really learn the nitty-gritties that you need to learn. But if you have such a camera like this and you're able to master this, it means you really get to the point where you've actually mastered and understood why things are working the way they are working, and that helps you perform better when you get hold of even much better cameras. And I'm going to give you just a few tips that you can do right now from today, and then you're going to get amazing photos. Number one is the way you hold the camera. Now, I've seen people hold a camera like so, and then they put their hand on the lens like that. And that's a good one because it means you get to be able to flex the lens that way, all right? But that is not how I would advise that you hold a camera. I would advise that you use your right hand, because cameras are usually made for right-handed people. I don't know why. You get hold of the camera like that and make sure it is firm in your hands, and then your index finger is all that does the shuttering. But your left hand, my God, is for support. So if you hold it this way, you are just only using one hand for this, and this will get you very shaky images if you are not very firm with the right hand. So your left hand, this part goes to your body, all right? That allows it to be more stable, and then underneath it, you make your hand like a cup, and you let the camera sit in your hand. Then your thumb and index finger go to the lens. So this way you can zoom in, zoom out. Meanwhile, it's providing the stability of supporting the camera in your thumb like that. Now, this is very important. I mean it because if the difference between taking very sharp images could just be holding the camera like this and then holding the camera like this. All right. So I advise you put the hand beside you. Let this one provide some base for the camera, sits in your palm, this on the lens, and then you can go ahead and take amazing pictures whilst they are feeling more steadily. All right, more like a tripod. Step number two, taking amazing pictures with this camera, is taking control of the ISO. Automatically, if you pick this camera, it has auto ISO turned on. And while that is not a bad thing, if you really want to master your camera, you have to take hold of the ISO. Cameras can be very funny with the ISO because they can give you an ISO of over 2000, 4000, and depending on the camera you are having, it can give you a lot of noise post-production. So you want to take control of the ISO. What I did immediately was that I went into my menu, I went into ISO sensitivity. All right, and then there's auto ISO. I quickly took the auto ISO sensitivity to off, so allowing me to be the one to change my ISO. And then if you want to change the ISO, it's just a quick setting. First of all, look at the shutter speed, press the FN beside the camera, and then you use this to change your ISO. If not, you can press the I button and then go all the way to where your ISO is, and then you change it. Now, if you have the ISO and you're in broad daylight or you're outdoor, you can shoot between 100 and 400. And you get it in decently exposed images. If you're indoor, you could now look at some bumping it up to 1600 on this camera, and then you get images with zero to little noise in your images. Step number three is learning how to use the I button. Now, there's an amazing I button here that looks like a question mark. This I button is a game changer on this camera because it allows you to control a lot of the settings on the camera. So if you press the I button, you get to even change the quality of your image from RAW to JPEG. Please use it. Use the I button. You can also change your white balance from here. You can change a lot of things, the flash, ISO sensitivity. You can change your ISO with that. You can go ahead and change the metering mode, the focus area, and then the focus mode. You can change all of that just with the I button. So I advise that if you are shooting and need to change something quickly, the I button will serve you the most, allowing you to make changes to many of them settings you have on the camera. So make use of the I button. Step number four is to experiment with the mode dial. So this is the mode dial, and when people take the cameras, for me like this, the first setting I had on was auto because I didn't know anything about photography when I got this. All right, except shooting with my phone, and phones shoot in auto by default. So it was on auto, point and shoot, and it was good. But then as time went on, I needed more. So then I started experimenting. Don't just leave it at auto and keep shooting. I have a video linked right here about the next camera mode you should be shooting in if you want something more than auto, but you're not ready for manual. So check out that video. Click on that link. I recommend that you shoot on aperture priority, or if possible, manual shutter priority, depending on the situation that you find yourself in. Auto might be good, but it won't get you the professional looks that you really want from your image. The next step is also mastering the back focus button on this camera. I had a video on that, but I'll talk about it here. If you look at the shutter, it allows you to first of all half press it and then to focus, and then you fully press it again to shoot. That is great. So I can look at an image, half press, I focus, then I press again to shoot. What if you could use the button at the back here, that's the back focus, to do the focusing? So once your thumb, which is automatically going to be there when you hold the camera this way, when your thumb gets there, it focuses, so that the moment your hand touches the shutter button, the camera just goes off and then you are taking amazing pictures. So you can really experiment with that one, even though I don't usually do a lot, but it's one of the things that is going to help you shoot better and faster and more steadily. The next step to get amazing pictures on this is learn how to quickly and easily change the elements of the exposure triangle, meaning ISO, shutter speed, and the aperture. On this camera, they make it very easily, all right? But you have one scroll right here at the back, and automatically this scroll will be changing your shutter speed. That is if you are in manual. Auto, you can't change that. So this changes your shutter speed automatically. But when you combine with other keys, you can change the aperture and the ISO. Like for instance, if you combine it with the aperture button here, it changes your aperture for you. And if you combine it with the FN button here, it changes your ISO for you. You have to have this at the back of your mind and play with it and master it, because that is how you can quickly be changing your exposure to meet whatever you are trying to shoot in the moment. Not when you have a very good moment to capture, you are not looking for pressing 5 or 6 buttons to be able to quickly you shoot, you look at the image, it's not good, you adjust quickly and you go back again. You have to know and get comfortable changing these various elements. I have a full video on that, you can check that out, but make sure you finish watching this video. And finally, if you get in a very dark space and you're on this camera, you still want to be able to get good photos. Luckily, Nikon has us covered. They give us a flash on this camera. So all you have to do is pop up the flash by pressing the amazing button right here, and then you can get to work by taking an amazing photo with the flash on, and that will help you get even more light on the images that you take. Many people who take hold of a camera think that everyone is shooting in manual, and I don't believe that. In this video right here, I go directly into the mode that you should be shooting if you're a beginner and you want something more than auto, but you're not very ready for manual yet. So click on this video and check that one out. Catch you in the very next one. Peace.